Hey guys, I'm Rob, this is Pixel Lab, welcome back to the channel. So in this week's video, I'll show you something awesome that I got. This is one thing I wanted as a child the most, but unfortunately my parents could never afford one for me. So being 36 years old now, I can finally afford things for myself. So I did pick this one up. And that is the original Game Boy DMG version with the crystal clear case. These were released somewhere in the 90s, so everything was becoming transparent and clear, including all the Nintendo 64s, Nintendo 64 controllers. That was like the coolest fad back in those days, to see all the components on the inside. But what makes this also extra cool is that it actually comes with the original case. The batteries, however, are mine. They did not come with a listing, but Tetris, on the other hand, did come with a listing. And also it did come with some instruction manuals and things like that. I do also see that these are very hard to find and they are getting very expensive. I paid 150 bucks for this, but somewhere on eBay and Amazon, I'm seeing listings for around 200, 250, especially with especially with a case. And most of these do not have cases at all. So that is awesome, great find. So I can't wait to fire this bad boy up and have a play with it. But first of all, let's go through it. Unfortunately, first things first, let's have a look. It's missing that little insert here. I've looked absolutely everywhere for even reproduction things of that. I can't remember what it was, but I think they had a Game Boy logo here or something like that. So I can't find any of those, even on eBay or things like that, or even reproductions, as I've said. So unfortunately I can't complete this, which would have been great to actually have this, but that little insert thing was cardboard. So I'm pretty sure that would have been the first thing to go in the bin when a child got this for Christmas or their birthdays back in the day. So anyway, let's crack this thing open and I'll show you how cool it is. And that is absolutely cool because the Game Boy itself is in pretty damn good nick. As you can see, the screen lens has a few scratches along the top, but all in all it is very crisp and not scuffed. A lot of the times there'll be like scuff from people cleaning them with their shirts, blankets, tea towels that they find in the kitchen. But this one is very clear, it's not scuffed. It does have minor scratches, but nothing too major. And the case itself overall is absolutely awesome as well. You could even say it's pretty damn close to mint. None of the font along here, the Game Boy or the Start Select AB button lettering is not scratched or peeling, which is absolutely awesome as well. No yellowing. A lot of the times these would be left out in the sun, so the clear cases would start yellowing over time, but this one does look quite bright and clear. And for me as a collector, the most important thing I do want is this serial number. The serial numbers are very important for collectors, because you know that the shelves have not been swapped, things like that. For a collector, it is very important to have the original serial numbers on them. A lot of the times you can get reproduction serial numbers, but the fonts and the writing is slightly different, so you can tell straight away that they are not original serial numbers. But all in all, the Game Boy is great. We'll boot him up soonish. And like I said, it did come with the instruction manual for the Game Boy itself, and that is absolutely mint as well. As you can see, no yellowing, no dog ears anywhere, no writing in it. A lot of the time writing is very prevalent in instruction manuals, because kids like to write cheat codes, things like that. Whatever's on hand, they'll just write things on there. Even they'll put their names on them for some strange reason. Well, I guess if they take these things to their friend's house and they have Game Boys, they know which manual belongs to whom. So that is also very common, finding scribbles and names and things like that, but this one is absolutely pristine, no writing anywhere, so that is great. And it did even come with this tiny little insert of how to actually insert the Game Boy game into the Game Boy. And me being a kid, I would have been this thing like straight away, because I would have said, I know how to insert a game into a Game Boy, I don't need this rubbish. So that would have been me, but this seller obviously kept it as original as possible, which I am very grateful for, because these kind of little things, they don't mean much, if you think about it, but as a collector wanting something, you know, complete, it does actually mean a whole lot. And if you know, if you wanted to sell this tiny little thing, you could probably fetch like, you know, 20, 30, 50 bucks for it. Because first things first, these things get binned. And if someone has, you know, this whole thing, but doesn't have this thing and wants to complete that thing, they will be willing to pay an arm and a leg to have something complete. So that is great as well. And yes, it did come with Tetris bundled in a lot of the times. Yeah, every single console, you know, back in the day had Tetris bundled in. This card, however, it's fair. It's a little bit dirty, a little bit yellowing. Well, there's a lot of yellowing around here. So, but overall, yeah, I've got mint copies of Tetris now. I think I've got like 3 or 4 copies of Tetris, so I'm not really fussed. This one, you know, the label's starting to peel a little bit at the bottom, but all in all, great to have. So that is that also, and also it does have some batteries, which will actually, you know, fire them up to show you that it does work, and it does work because I did test it prior. Last thing I want to do is be taking these things home and them not working. But even so, even if they weren't working, I do have other Game Boys which I could, you know, Frankenstein together just to, you know, have an original Game Boy with that original shell. But more importantly for me, it was just having this case. This case is the most valuable thing to me. I would have paid $100 just for this case because it is the original Nintendo case. It's not a reproduction. You can't even get reproductions of these. So that is awesome. So there's the batteries stuffed in, and then obviously we'll get good old Tetris as always because that's the only copy they ever came with. And button on. There's the light. There's the Nintendo logo, so it does work perfectly as you'd expect. You know, something, you know, that's been kept in such good condition would always be working. I can't imagine, you know, getting something like this in this condition with all the instruction manuals and things like that, and then powering it up and it not working. That's just, yeah, but that would be a huge shock to me. So yeah, definitely working all in all. Great little find, 150 bucks, can't say no. And yeah, post lockdown, a lot of people are, you know, trying to sell off a few things because obviously they missed out on work. So they are trying to get rid of stuff and collectibles just to make, you know, ends meet, which is unfortunate for them, but it is fortunate for us collectors because we can actually find these things for relatively cheap. Not necessarily cheap, but collectors are starting to get rid of stuff because they know that these are valuable and people are willing to snap them up real quick. And when I do see a listing come up that I really, really want, I do pick it up ASAP. So yeah, on one hand, it is unfortunate with that, you know, what's going on in the world and people having to, you know, lose their jobs and income. It is unfortunate, but however, for us collectors, it is quite cool to actually be able to find these things that don't only come out of collections. But that is a little bit of a somber end of this video. But overall, I am stoked to get finally one of these, all complete, all in its original case. I will, however, try to track one of those little inserts for the front. Don't know how successful I will be, but that is also one of the things I am looking out for. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, please consider subscribing, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!